Once again, guys, this is an investor show. As always, this is your host, Chris Dykes, coming to you live from Omaha, Nebraska. We are right outside of the world-famous Forbes Estate Council, right behind us, directly. Warren Buffett left about 20, 30 minutes ago. They got some more people in there. They're having the annual chairman meeting here at Forbes Estate Council. I was in there eating, sitting down, relaxing, everything like that, and I found a very, very special guest here, Mr. Andre Bueno. Whoa, I got it. Okay, Bueno, okay. So he's here today, and his background is from Wall Street to Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley. Right. Wall Street from Morgan Sachs. I'm getting names mixed up. Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, all the other great stuff, and he has also became a real estate guru. You know, get into the real estate industry, all the good stuff. But anyway, I'm not going to sit here and try to drag it out. I don't have a lot of time, and I definitely know you guys don't have a lot of time, so we're going to jump straight into it. Andre, how's it going, my man?
Good, man.
Good.
Ate some amazing food.
Amazing food you had today?
Oh, dude, I had, I think it was like a T-bone steak.
T-bone? Did you get the hash browns?
I did, but my homie ended up eating like most of it, so.
Your homie? Okay. So Warren Buffett's favorite meal or known meal here is the double hash browns and T-bone.
I got a Coke too.
You got the Coke?
I got the Coke.
You got the Coke, so you got to have the Coke, T-bone, and the double hash brown. So out there, for the people who are listening to this, who are maybe want to get into real estate or thinking about real estate, what advice would you give to them?
So right now, like we're at the point in the economic cycle where if you're looking to get into real estate, you really have to start being very mindful of exactly kind of what you're acquiring. So we're talking, you want to buy something that has some sort of fix-up potential, not really for the fact of, you know, if I fix it up, I'm going to make this profit or whatever. It's you want to be prepared that if something were to happen, the economic cycle starts kind of shifting downwards, you at least have a greater margin of safety.
Okay. So I forgot to ask this part, Andre. So people that are tuning in right now, they want to know who the heck is this guy, Andre Bueno. I got it right?
No.
I didn't get it. What? It's Bueno. Bueno. Who is this guy? What would you tell? I'm horrible with names, by the way.
No worries.
What would you tell that person?
So little quick background that would help. I was born in Los Angeles. Actually grew up in Brazil. Never really thought about actually going to college. I was a semi-professional bodybuilder for a number of years, and when I came back to California, my whole thing was like I wanted to be like Arnold, and you know Arnold was governor at the time, and started actually having to manage like my parents' real estate portfolio, and this is like 2007. So financial crisis happens, the world starts falling apart. I'm managing 18 apartment units in Los Angeles.
Whoa. How did you get into this real estate? It was your parents' portfolio?
Yeah, my parents, they had bought this. Like, my parents used to flip houses back in the 80s.
So your parents used to flip houses?
Yeah.
Okay.
But not like there are serious people out there. They're flipping like hundreds of houses. My parents flipped like 3. But it was enough because, you know, this was back at the time when, you know, you'd buy an apartment and put the loan in your dog's name and you put like 5% down and the seller would carry the paper. The banks were like, I don't give a shit, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was a different time, right? It was a lot easier to get into real estate back then when you're buying an apartment complex for like $800,000 versus now that same apartment complex is like $3 million. So because of inflation, because of, you know, call it 3 decades later, you know, it's a different case.
Okay. So your parents give you this portfolio of about 18 houses, and you hit the financial crisis. Now, what does Andre do?
So we specifically dealt with low-income housing, and so we had a 14-unit apartment complex and 4-unit building. The 14-unit one, we had someone move in. We're calling it Bear Stearns went down, Lehman goes down. 3 weeks later, a tenant moves in and burns half of my building down.
What? You got building that?
Half the building.
Did you hear that? A tenant moves in and burns half the building down. Okay, now what happened?
Lesson number 1, always have insurance.
Always have insurance, guys.
Protect yourself.
You got to protect the downside and let the upside do the rest.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
So that really kind of helped shape a lot of like the way that I looked at real estate, which is everyone's looking at it and saying, I'm buying it here and I'm going to take it up to the moon. But the reality is, you got to start thinking about, if I buy it, like, what are the things that could happen, right? So you want to have someone on your team who's a specialist on the legal side, right?
Legal team.
You want to have an insurance team.
Insurance team.
It's a team sport. The reality is, I am not the smartest person on the team, and as long as things kind of continue that way, that means I'm doing my job.
Awesome. So you said get that team, have legal representation, have what are the records you said? Legal representation, have
Good insurance.
Good insurance, legal representation. See that he's covering the downside, right? What can go wrong? Because in the investing world, what do people always look at? Upside.
Yep.
What if can go wrong? Because my thing is always protect the downside and let the upside do the rest. Yes, you can make a bigger gamble, but lose a little in order to make some. But you guys kind of get the idea of that, right? So anyway, so the next thing, let's proceed.
Building burns down, and I'm sitting there trying to put the building together, trying to navigate the insurance process. It's one thing to have insurance; it's another thing for the insurance company to actually pay you back. So having the right people, surrounding myself with them. As Jim Rohn says, right, you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So you spend a lot of time just cold calling, trying to really get smart.
Okay. You go to college, and you start cold calling.
I was in community college at the time, so not even at a 4-year university.
So you at a community college, you're cold calling. What happens?
I'm calling people and I'm like, hey, I got the situation. All right, got this building, it burnt down. How do I get from point A to point B? And how's it going, man?
Yeah.
You good?
I want to take a photo. Okay.
So we got Bill Gates just walked out in the middle of my interview. That's Bill Gates, ladies and gentlemen. Just walked out.
So,
This is the ghettoest show on earth. Had a random guy just walk up to me. I'm not gonna edit it out. Random guy just walks up and wants a photo. Out of all the people that's out here, he wanted the people that are doing the interview to get a photo. That's just life, right? Then Bill Gates walked out behind him. Then we got a cameo. You got a Bill Gates cameo, man.
hey, man.
What could you ask for?
Do we need to sign a release papers, or are we good? We good? We're good. We're good.
Dang,
We're good.
We're good. We're good. We ain't gonna
We're
worry about it. We'll worry about the legal issues later, But that part you say how they gotta have the legal team. So you're calling, and you get a response. Who you get a response from?
Oh man, I called every single insurance person I could find out there. The thing is I'm so dumb, and I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with that because I know there are people out there that specifically specialize in this stuff. So I'm asking them for advice, how do you go through the claims process? How do you find a contractor? Anyways, long story short, find a way to put the building back together. And at that point, I was so over it. I don't want to be in real estate. I ended up actually focusing on my community college stuff. I ended up having a terrible accident. I ended up severing one of my fingers as a bodybuilder.
What else can go wrong? So your apartment building burns down. You're in community college. You get a terrible accident because you're trying to be the Arnold Schwarzenegger of the world.
But there's one more thing.
What's up?
My neighbor was a drug dealer, and he was in a gang. So he breaks into my apartment and jacks my laptop. Now, mind you, I'm like 18, 19 at the time. So when someone steals your $300 laptop,
that's your world.
Oh man, that was $1 million. I was sad. I was so sad.
So now where are we at now?
So my parents were like, look, you need to just focus. You can't do this bodybuilding stuff anymore. So end up getting out of a pretty heavy relationship at the time too. So I just focus on school. And I start kind of looking for different opportunities. End up transferring to my number 2 school, which was Loyola Marymount. Ended up being an amazing opportunity, a small little private school. And I wanted to do something that was actually impactful, in these lower income communities. So one of my mentors at the time, who I met at the gym, says if you want to really do something, it's you gotta be in a position where if you want to give, you gotta be in a position to give back, right? So you look at a guy like Bill Gates, right? He built Microsoft, very, very successful company. Now he has an opportunity through his foundation to actually go and be really impactful. Mm-hmm. So I kind of started down that path. So being at Loyola Marymount, I pick up the phone and I start cold calling everyone I could find on LinkedIn that was on Wall Street. And we're talking, I spent months and months and months calling every single bank I could think of, every single profession I could think of, and finally got an opportunity to do a couple interviews. But again, I'm not experienced, so I'm going and doing like 3 interviews, not getting the call back. Keep going. Many months later, I end up landing my first internship on Wall Street. It was at Citigroup. Worked at Citigroup over the summer. Did not get a return offer. Come back the following year. Go through the same process again. Hustle for about 9 months. Land a job at Goldman, and where I started my career. I started my career at Goldman Sachs.
So your career at Goldman Sachs. How long were you at Goldman Sachs?
I was there for 9, maybe 10 months, and I got fired.
Just like everybody at Goldman Sachs. Okay.
Then ended up at a real estate private equity company in Los Angeles. So this time, I'm like, I made it, right? Left Goldman, went to go work at a great private equity fund. I got a little apartment on the corner of like West Hollywood and Beverly Hills. Told everyone I was living in Beverly Hills. I lived there for 22 days.
And, we got to have somebody come in the background and peel out. It's an old guy, too. That's the funny part. Most raggedest car ever. But okay. But I'm going to strip the audio off of this and turn this into a podcast, too. So the people out there are not going to be able to watch this. I'm giving you guys some visuals. So not only do we get a random guy that walks up and wants pictures, then we have Bill Gates come in and interrupt the session. We get a cameo by Bill. That's what I'm going to say. It was a cameo. Bill Gates comes in and leaves Grot Steakhouse. And then this guy just comes in and peel off. Legendary. Let's go.
Working there for a little bit of time, so I learned a little bit of the basic skills. Learning a little bit about like how to put together like these real estate developments, financial modeling, things of that sort, and end up getting laid off from there too. So now I'm like 3 for 3. So I end up realizing.
How old are you at this time?
Oh, I'm like a year-ish out of college. I get fired like 3 times in like 18 months. It's like the worst. And at this point, I kind of realized.
There go Charlie Munger.
There's Charlie Munger.
Charlie Munger, the vice president. There he is. He's getting his car leaving. That's Charlie Munger getting ready to leave. Not only we did get the cameo by Warren Buffett left earlier. So we got a Bill Gates cameo. Then we just got a Charlie Munger cameo. Man, all these man, everybody's stopping by the investor show today, man. I don't know why. You're such a popular guy, Andrew.
Dude, this is you, huh? It's all you. They know. They knew.
It was like, dude, is that Andre outside? Man, I gotta go out there and get in part of this video.
They could have been anywhere in the world, but they decided to be on your show. Look at that.
Anywhere in the world, they decided to get in their Cadillac. Oh my man, I feel special, guys. I'm the only independent guy here that Birdshot gave a chance. I appreciate it, Birdshot, if y'all do watch this. Pretty cool. We outside of Grot, and we saw the orange Grot come out as well. But y'all gonna see an interview with him anyway. All right, let's go.
So I end up actually taking a job. I sold derivatives in New York. Did that for about a year. Around that time, I started really kind of focusing and saying, look, I want to go back to do real estate. I want to focus on doing something entrepreneurial. And actually start getting into just education, man. Start reading a lot of books. So I get into certain communities. We start kind of reading a book a week. Then we get into that book a day thing, right? Ty Lopez, all right?
Ty Lopez, book a day. Y'all want to see Ty Lopez on the Investor Show too. So cool.
And that's how I got started, man. I got about $15,000, put it together, bought all these books used on Amazon. And look, I don't know how to analyze a real estate model. I don't know the real estate market. I didn't know any of this stuff. So I bought all the books from all the top professionals, all the people that specialize in this, and I sat there and just read. And I read for about 6 months. Ended up buying my first building was a 50-unit building. Bought it in Washington State. Moved there. So mind you, I was living in Manhattan, big city, right? All of a sudden, I moved to Washington State, this tertiary market. There are 40,000 people living in this county. And I'm living there, and I'm like, hey, it's one of those kill or be killed kind of situations, and I'm just going to figure it out. And basically applying everything that I learned, over the last 6 months, and continuously just buying new books and just refining. Stephen Pressfield calls it, I'm just sharpening the blade and just becoming a lot better at real estate.
Did you pick up the children's book, Wesley Learns to Invest?
I did not pick up that book.
You did not pick up Wesley Learns? Oh my!
If I had known you,
you didn't. That's cool. had to plug my way in some type of way. You said, folks, Shot Lopez, I can't let you just have all the shine. I gotta get my way into some Western learn some. But you guys already know this, you're on my channel. But proceed. So you sharpen the blade. What happens?
Well, I mean, at that point, it's just learning how to build a business. And one of the best things that I did was I moved to a different state where I knew nobody. I'm sitting basically in a brand new town, different dynamics, and just learning everything really from the ground up. The benefit was that I had a lot of time in my hands to actually focus and read. But if I had to kind of give that advice to someone else, it's don't go out of state looking for a new opportunity when you have opportunities right in your backyard. It's just about how do you look at it. So I ended up building basically like a nationwide business. We were in California, expanded up into Washington State. At that point, we ended up selling one of our buildings in California, and I ended up picking up a portfolio out in Michigan. Michigan was a very, very intense experience. This is right around the time of like the Flint water crisis, and I called one of my best friends. I'm like, "Hey, man, meet me out in Michigan. We're going to go out. We're going to try to help these families." And we ended up picking up like 209 apartments. A lot of it was like in bankruptcy, so we're talking. We renovated close to about, say, 175 apartments last year, and it was great. I mean, again, it's always a team sport, so we partnered up with the U.S. Office of Refugee Resettlement, so we helped a lot of like refugees and immigrants kind of move in to our apartments. This is the last administration.
So to get to the point you at today,
yeah.
How many properties you got now?
We're looking at, call it around like 400 units.
400 units.
Yeah.
Wow. Are you spread out in the LA area?
No, so we're actually consolidating our entire portfolio and we're moving everything to Los Angeles.
Okay.
So we're buying, call it.
And you started your own company?
Yeah.
What's the name of your company?
The Bueno Group.
The Bueno Group. Okay. So, under your portfolio, if you had to evaluate it, how much you would say your portfolio is possibly worth? Ballpark.
I don't know. I don't know if I should disclose that.
It's a good thing or bad?
No, it's a good thing. So double digits in the millions.
To the millions?
Yeah.
Okay. So, can I borrow $5?
Right now? I can Venmo you.
Perfect.
PayPal.
Man, I definitely gonna pay
Millennial,
that
man. I don't carry cash.
Exactly. I got $5 on me. But that's amazing how you went from, how old are you now?
I'm 28.
It's 28, right? Anyway, he's 28 now, and you went through all this downtime and backsteps you had to buildings burning down, being in a community college. I definitely respect you calling up, cold calling on people, and hustling his way into Wall Street. Even though it didn't. No, I don't. Everybody I've met at Goldman Sachs, you guys know I've been in Goldman Sachs. They don't stay that long. It's very rare I meet somebody, but I've been at Goldman Sachs for 30, 40 years. Everybody is an ex-Goldman Sachs member. But there's nothing wrong with that, Then you flipped that, then you went on to, sharpening your blades and sharpening the knife, and you got back at it to the point. What's your end goal?
The end goal is like the work that we've been doing in these communities. We've been helping with a lot of families. So we're using that, it's called the triple bottom line method. We're looking at what are we doing for the people. So, like, what's our social impact? We're looking, obviously, from a profitability standpoint. We've never raised any outside capital. So at this point, it's like we've basically built a business from scratch. And then the last thing is, like, what are we doing for the planet? So for us, like, sustainability is a huge thing. We're definitely going green. Whether it's, reducing water consumption, reducing our electricity use, and really trying to provide, like, a better quality life standard for our residents. And that's really the end goal.
Cool. If you guys ever got any extra money you need to get rid of,
I just Venmo you, dude. That's it.
You're like, you know what? We don't know what we want to do with this year. Send it right over to me. I appreciate it. So you was with the football player, Jonathan Sue. How was that?
It was interesting. So
it was interesting.
Well, I mean, the guy's has a tower, right? So just being around him is very, very nerve-wracking.
Why were you with him? You said you were his sister or something?
Yeah, so been friends with the sister for like the last year and a half or something.
Okay.
You just go out there and when you put yourself out there and you're trying to meet like people that are actually doing like great things, you meet other people that are doing great things, right?
That's cool. That's how I met him. See? He came over to my table and was like, "Hey, what you doing?" I was like, "Okay." And
actually, what happened was I went to his table and I was like, "You look super famous." So
no, he's like, "Look at this lame guy sitting by himself. Doesn't have anybody to talk to. By himself. He just came over. He just started talking to me." And down in the soup, you see this. If your sister sees this, I apologize. I know you stopped by to get. I got the picture with you, but we're supposed to do an interview. Then the camera cut off because my stuff was ratchet. I only had one press pass. I couldn't bring a camera guy. I was by myself, so I asked the Chinese guy. I don't think he can read English, and I told him to hit the record button, but he hit the photo button. And then, it went in, and then, Donovan was like, "What the heck with you? I'm out of here."
The debits and the credits. And then
Exactly. Then you get the credit. Yeah, checking to savings and savings, things happen. But anyway, Donovan, so thank you for even stopping by and giving me those 3 seconds of nothing. But anyway, I appreciate it. But back to Andre, so you guys more, when you get to this point now, what's next one? You got millions, you're 28, you got kids?
No kids.
And you're single?
I got a girlfriend.
Are you dating Donovan's sister?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
No.
So you got a girlfriend?
Yeah, my girlfriend's in LA.
So what do you want to do now? Well, I mean, you got everything, man. You got millions now. You got hundreds of real estate properties. You're living in LA. You're coming to Berkshire Hathaway. He does an interview where Charlie Munger, which is the vice president of Berkshire Hathaway, of the #1 financial company in the world, and Bill Gates stops by and gives a cameo. Never had that happen before. First interview ever. So, what else could you want in life? Have you ever had that happen to you?
No. I've always imagined 50 Cent would come out, be like, give me dap, like walk out.
Then we get interrupted by some random guy. Why? So, anyway, what else we got here? My battery's getting a little low up there, I see.
So here's the thing. I think, like, when a lot of people think about, like, entrepreneurship, they're thinking about it from the standpoint of, like, what can I make? What can I take? And the thing that always motivated me was really, like, the journey, right? The process. So the person I am today is very different than the person I was 6 months ago. And when I get questions kind of like, okay, you've accomplished all these things, like, where are you trying to take things to? It's not really like, there's no dollar figure that's going to make me happy, right? Having, what am I going to do with more money? Right? Am I going to eat another steak, right? I'm going to get some extra downtime, in between, plane trips and get, a salad or something.
That's true.
So it's not money that motivates me. It's actually the project itself. It's being
the process, the drive,
exactly.
The journey is what drives you the most.
Exactly.
Awesome. And we are back. We changed the battery. I don't know if I'm going to either leave the other piece in there, but it was. So you were saying, how can people get in contact with you?
I'm on all social media outlets, so Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Handle is Bueno Bomb.
Bueno Bomb.
Bueno Bomb.
Okay.
Website is buenobomb.com. So.
All right. So, how did you enjoy your weekend?
It was good. First time.
Okay.
So, to be completely frank, I've always been bootstrapping everything, right? Actually, not even a shareholder. So, one of my friends. Well, we're gonna keep it real, right?
Hey, that's what we do on the Investor Show. This is the most. Berkshire might see this, and they may tell me to take it down. They might not ever invite me back again. But you guys want to keep it real and honest. You guys were the ones that got me to Berkshire. If it wasn't for you guys liking, following, and subscribing, and tuning in and stuff like that, I wouldn't even be here. Because, as Andre can tell you, the media outlets you see here are news people, they're Motley Fool, they're Morning Star, all these big Fox, all these type of people, and then what you got, the Investor Show. They're like, dude, who are you with? I'm independent. So, anyway, but you guys got me here. I'm probably a test worm for other people, but we'll see. But so you're not a shareholder. So who did you get the badge from?
So one of my friends, his uncle is a shareholder. So his uncle couldn't make it. So then he was next in line. And then he couldn't make it. So then he's like, I got these tickets. I'm on the other side of the country. My brother just graduated college like 2 days ago. I'm like, shit. So like right after my brother's graduation, we went from graduation directly to the airport, So I could take the red eye out here, so I could stay at an Airbnb that I paid like a crazy amount of money for. And I can even stay like at the hotel, which is like close to the convention center. And then ended up actually going out there, and it was just a great experience.
Great experience. Okay. Anything else you want to say to lead off on this interview? Oh, this classic interview. By the way, Bill Gates stopped through.
Charlie Munger
stopped through.
Warren Buffett
Warren Buffett had just left before the camera turned on.
Yeah.
So I don't know what more epic this interview could be.
I think for like SEO purposes, right? We're talking, interview with investor who worked at Goldman Sachs while leaving the Berkshire Hathaway meeting with Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, Bill Gates.
That is crazy. So I don't know how good y'all gonna do this, but they was directly here behind us at Grot's Steakhouse, the legendary Grot's Steakhouse. But anyway, anything that you want to say?
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I think a lot of people make business out to be something a lot more complex than what it really is. Same thing with like investing. What it really comes down to is being like a domain expert. So people talk to me about stocks. I don't understand stocks. People talk to me about bonds or currencies and all these different investment opportunities. Like, stay in my lane. So the thing is, like, you want to specialize. There's an excellent book by Gary Keller called The One Thing, where he's like, figure out what's that one thing that you do that will make you extremely successful, and just really nail down on that. For me, it was being in the low-income housing space, so affordable housing, tax credits, things of that nature. So if I'm talking to someone, especially in your community, they got to start somewhere, right? And the way you start is figuring out what do you want to specialize in, learning as much as you can about it, calling everyone who understands that space, telling them, hey, I don't really know what I'm doing. Like, what would be the things that you would focus on, and learn to prioritize them.
The thing about Andre's story and the reason why you see here on the Investor Show, where you guys have grown to like what I say, and you may think I'm good at something. I'm not good at anything. But you may think I'm good at something, but I always get you guys the experts that have been there, that has done it, and that are successful at it. If you look at every interview we have done, you can go verify everybody. As Andre can tell you, I stalked him, and I had my buddy stalk him to make sure. That's what we want to do, is make sure we bring you guys good information, right? So, with that being said, like it's a tag on what he was saying, I don't know everything. I'm not an expert at everything. I'm not going to ask you. I was on live last night. Somebody asked me about the debt crisis in Puerto Rico. I said, dude, I don't know. What advice could I give you? I don't know, man. And if I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know. But I want to find somebody who probably does know, who's smarter than me at it. So that's why I like the aspect of you on real estate, too.
Good real estate opportunities in Puerto Rico right now. I'm just saying, restructuring, like, as the economy's been going down.
This might be a whole nother episode, but Puerto Rico episode, all right. So you're saying it's a great opportunity for Puerto Rico?
I'm saying if there's someone who's a domain expert, or if they're crazy enough like me to actually move out there, there's the opportunity. I did that in Washington. If someone wants to go, international, I think Puerto Rico has.
What do you tell the guy who ain't got no money? I don't have any money. I'm a blue collar guy. I got a 401k. You telling me to go to, how can I get into real estate?
Look, you gotta figure it out, man. I mean, it's if you don't have money.
A bank loan?
No, I mean that's beside the point, right? The bank loan is going to be supported by the asset itself, right? The property. For you to figure out what your down payment's going to be, right? This is called the capital stack in finance, right? Equity, you have the debt together. That's what you use to actually buy the building. If you don't have that equity,
what is equity?
Equity is like the money that you take out of your pocket, right? Okay. Your down payment. If you don't have the money for your down payment, then you need to partner with someone who has like deep pockets, and you get this person and you tell them, hey, I know you're really busy. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be the person that's going to do all the work for you. I'm going to find the investment, take care of it. I'm going to run it for you, and in return, you give me this opportunity to actually build up my street cred. So when I go to the bank and I say, hey, like, I know what I'm doing, here's an example, I work with this person, and this is what we did together. Does that make sense? It's all about partnerships.
Partnerships, find people that are smarter than you, that have something that you don't have, and those people in your circle. You know why I started the Investor Show? Because when people go to seek out information, beginners hang around beginners, intermediates hang around intermediates, experts hang around experts. Where can you go that you can hear from an expert that's been there, done it, and that's successful, they've been to Wall Street. I see a lot of brands out there, they got their friends, they got a cousin that maybe flipped 2 or 3 houses, or they got somebody who's learning real estate, or somebody who read a book or two. No, I'm bringing you guys to experts who've been there, done it, and who got the pockets and the resume to back it up. They're not just talking about Wall Street, they've been on Wall Street. They got their Series 6, they got their Series 7. So hanging around those people, and that's what I do here, is to bring experts to the beginners. Because when you're a beginner, you don't know any experts. In most cases, you don't. This is a platform you can come to hear from an expert, somebody who's been there. So you find somebody who, I don't have the money, maybe you can find somebody. Call Andre, he got it.
You got to be creative, man. You got to be creative. I mean, look, if anyone wants to show me any deals in LA, I'm looking and I'm buying. So there's the opportunity right there.
You're in LA, you got some deals, just got to call.
It's got to be ugly and disgusting. Like, take me to the hood, to the biggest building, and I'm down.
Definitely. Andre, what else you got to say? What did you want to say about this?
I'll say, look, education's like a huge thing. You got to become a learning machine. We talk about Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. These guys they're books with legs, sort of thing, right? They read so much. They're always consuming a lot of different information. So when you think about, like, what do you want to specialize in, find that thing and read everything. Read everything. Go to the conferences. I think this year I spent $20,000 of money that I don't have to be able to, like, just fly around and meet with people and take people out to coffee. And at the end of the day, it's like I'm bootstrapping. So that's why, like, I'm even being, like, completely blunt. Like, I don't have the perfect resume. I don't have the perfect background. I didn't come from money. Couldn't even afford to come to this conference. But you know what? We'll make it happen.
That's true.
If you want it bad enough, man.
So in your company, who's all inside your company? Is it you or is it just?
So I'm basically the CEO. One of my buddies is running basically the day-to-day operations. We have, I think, 13 employees right now at the moment. We're getting ready to start unwinding a couple of our portfolios. So we're going to be consolidating. And now as we're going into kind of this 2.0 kind of mode, we're using a lot of technology to be able to leverage a lot of different things out there. So in, call it 5 years from now, when we're sitting here and chatting, our portfolio is going to be, call it 15, 20 times bigger, but our employee count is probably going to have 4 or 5 people in an office. Automation, man. That's technology is making extreme strides, and I think where we're kind of headed, and, like, especially as a nation, we need to understand that technology is here. It's going to be replacing a lot of our jobs, so we need to do things that we can build moats around what we're doing. The only thing I think about is, if you're someone out there who you're a blue collar guy or gal, and you have some sort of job that you see technology coming, run fast and figure out how to take advantage of that. Either use that to your benefit, either go start your own company, either go learn how to invest in yourself. Like, I think being an entrepreneur right now, it's actually the best time to do it, because at the end of the day, if we go through another financial crisis, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. A lot more robots are coming along the way, and maybe I just spent too much time in Silicon Valley, and I'm very
what's happening,
and scared too, right? Scared too.
So what are all these people going to do?
Right. We need, like, the American public needs to be retooled, but you have millennials who, I hate to say it, like, don't know anything, and we're entitled. We think we're the best at everything because mom and dad has always, given us participation points for, just living. So it's going to be very interesting what's going to happen over the next decade. So it's extremely important to start cultivating, like, that work ethic. It's spending time and doing the self-study. I feel a lot of us, we don't know how to not be on our phones. We don't know how to not be present. And just taking the time to sit down and just read, reflect, really think through, like, from a strategic standpoint, where are you taking your career? Where are you taking your life?
Awesome.
One last thing.
What?
It's not all about money. It's not all about money. So as much as we sit here and we're talking,
that's what all the rich people say. All the rich people say it ain't about money. When you broke, Eat a bologna sandwich. I'm just joking, but explain that.
Well, I mean, look, I have a lot of friends who are still working on Wall Street, and they've had extremely successful careers, and they're going into, the upper echelons of the world. But their personal life, it's in shambles. I don't care how many commas you have in your bank account. If you don't have someone to sit there and drink a beer with, grab coffee with, be able to spend time on the beach, and just be like, hey, this person's been with me through thick and thin. I know people who they let their families get torn apart just because they're chasing that rabbit, and then you have the money, and then what?
It's true. Why is my camera blowing up right now? I think it's trying to autofocus.
Because it's dark.
Oh yeah, it got dark. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. This is the Investor Show. You got back in focus. Sorry about that. The Investor Show is Prince. What else you got to say? I don't mean to cut you off, but I seen it was getting dark. This is a horrible. I'm bored. This is why they don't invite people like me to places like this. But go back into the money. Why is money not important?
Well, no, I mean, money should be viewed.
So you're saying people that got the money, they in the upper echelons of society, what are they going to do now?
I mean, I think. Are you familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
No.
Okay, so basically, this psychologist, maybe it's a sociologist, right? Correct me, someone. He created this hierarchy of needs, where he basically said, you need to satisfy the lower levels.
Okay. So you're saying, okay, so if you couldn't think about where we bring into the apartment, so we got to have it. And once those needs are taken care of,
you could focus on other things. Now, what ends up happening a lot of times is people get so focused on, how can I get more? How can I get more money? The reality is, there's always going to be someone who's going to stand next to you who's going to have more money than you, who's going to have, a nicer car, who's going to have that, there's always going to be someone who's going to have something better than you. So it's learning to be content with kind of what you have, and gratitude is a huge component of my day to day. And when I start thinking about kind of my career and kind of what I've been able to achieve, I'm very happy. I have a great relationship with my parents. I love my family dearly. I have an awesome relationship with my girlfriend. I have great friends that I surround myself with. Amazing mentors that I'm constantly reaching out to. And I feel that those are the important things, right? The real estate stuff, how much money, making or not making or whatever, those things are going to come and go. To be honest, if we had this conversation, call it 10 months ago, I went through the worst period ever. I was getting audited, having lawyer issues, accountants were involved, the state was involved, the IRS was involved. Dude, people you don't want to piss off.
The thing about it is, I learned as you're transcending, you're going to hit something, whether it's a lawsuit, legal issues, something. Once you get by it, you're going to shoot up to another level, and then you're going to have more issues at that level. So it's a constant. Every time you get stuck in something, it's just the different stratospheres. You got to break through it to get to the next one, breaking the sound barrier. So it's just, as soon as you got through that, you're propelled to another space. I've experienced that my own self, my personal, professional, and business life. Once I got through those rust spots, after those rust spots, it's like this. I hate to quote Jay-Z, but I know he said it in the song. Nobody likes, water. Flowers need rain, in order to grow. People don't like when it rains, but we like the flowers. So the rain must happen in order to see the flowers grow. So we must go through something in order to get through something. So it's man, it's raining outside, blah, blah, but you like Hawaii to be tropical, right? It can't be tropical unless it rains. So when you get that flooded days, those rainy days, then when that summer months come around, it's the best experience ever. So sometimes, as some people say, you got to go through some stuff in order to get some stuff. So, yeah, you're right. So once you got through it, did you see a trajectory up? Or
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I think it took, call it 10, 11 months to get through that. I just wrapped this up last Friday. So this is extremely fresh. And look, I'm a better person for it. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about really my business. I mean, look, you use the Jay-Z example, right? He grew up in the Mercy Projects, worked really hard, kind of built his business up. Then he started building up, Rockaware. Then he has like all these different streams, right? But at the same time, it's like you can look at, his nightclub business. It had ups and downs. Rockaware as a clothing brand, right?
Title, streaming service.
Right. So they're a variety of different things that Jay-Z did. That at the end of the day, he is the most successful hip hop artist ever, right?
So, anything else you want to leave out on?
Oh man, I
could go on. Okay,
I can go on and on. I mean, look, the reality is, it's like entrepreneurship is a very, very good way to learn yourself. Like, you think, you sit there and you're like, oh yeah, I'm so hard. Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, I'm so good at X, Y, and Z thing. And then you go out there and you start realizing that there are people.
I'm sorry about that loud beeping outside. That's a car trying to back up.
They're actually picking up all the Chinese investors.
Oh, so they're picking up all the Chinese investors. So,
but look, I'm not gonna wait for that. The reality is, it's like you're always gonna have things like this, right? Things in the background where,
Charlie Munger, Bill Gates, random dude, did power through it.
Yeah, man. Look, Charlie and Bill are trying to get in our shot, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay.
Hey, we took a couple pictures, whatever, blah blah. That you guys see, we kept it moving. So, kind of like, hey, dude, we're trying to do an interview here.
It happens, man. It happens. So, look, the last thing I want to leave with is just the fact that, like, when you're going out and you're doing anything that's worthwhile, it's going to be hard, it's going to be challenging, you're going to spend a lot of time, a lot of effort. You might spend a lot of money in the process. A lot of money that's not going to come back, and you're only going to get paid back in experience. But if you learn to understand that that's a part of the process, then start looking at it from like a holistic standpoint. When I started rolling this out, like, I remember thinking, I'm going to give myself 3 solid years to really, really focus and buckle down on it. I'll be honest, I got really lucky. I got extremely lucky that the last 3 years have been on the up and up. But even though we're looking at it from a macro, from a global level on the up and up, if we were to break down on a month-to-month basis, you'd see there's some months where I'm loving my life, and there are other months where I'm really not. And just being able to keep that perspective, I think it's extremely important for anyone who's looking to learn anything else, looking to learn anything new, right?
Awesome. All right. What's the Investor Show? This is, I don't know how I'm going to edit this up and chop it up, but I'm going to put it up with everything in it. I'm going to have to clean up, the battery changing parts and everything. But it was great having you on.
Pleasure.
Definitely stay in touch.
Absolutely.
I will be hitting you on LinkedIn when it's ready to come out.
Sounds good.
But I got a lot of interviews, as you know, this week, so I have to stagnate. I can't do
Take your time.
machine gun, so they'll come out. So, but yeah, definitely appreciate you guys. You know how to get in contact with them. As always, this is Prince Dykes. This is the Investor Show. Until the next video, podcast, cartoon, book, or whatever you see from me, or whatever goofy stuff you see me do. Peace. Be safe. I'm out. Thanks.
Hit me up. BuenoBomb.com.
BuenoBomb.com. You heard that? Check them out. Cool. Peace. I'm out.